This is another episode of Standup Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I hope you've been enjoying this last couple of years of shows. A great variety of both interviews and stand-up comedy sets from back in the 80s and 90s when I owned a chain of comedy clubs called Laughs Unlimited. But on this week's show, I have some more great stand-up comedy, but these are excerpts from my first TV special. That's right, I produced a television special back in 1985, and it ran on the Fox network. The host of the show, it wasn't me, was Willie Tyler Lester, the famous comic ventriloquist. You'll recognize his voice and the character Lester once I get going here. But we have some great talented stand-up comics for you. Closing the show, the always famous Pat Paulsen. And he was a regular on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour back in the late 70s and early 80s. And when he was doing that, as a stand-up comic, he ran for president. That's right. Actually, over 3 times, he made a run for president as a stand-up comic. It was a joke, but it was, he seriously got on some ballots. It was wild. But here he is doing his famous stand-up comedy set about running for president. I know you'll enjoy it. That's at the end of this show. We also have a good friend of mine out of Los Angeles, California. You've heard him many, many times on this podcast because we're really good friends. Bob Worley did a set for the TV show, and I think you'll enjoy it. Also, coming up before him, the comedy team of O'Brian and Valdez. Now, what's unique about these guys is Alex Valdez is blind. So this was the only comedy team that toured a lot in the 80s and 90s, where one of the members had a disability, being blind, and the two of them put together a great show, and they were regulars at my clubs. I know you'll enjoy O'Brian and Valdez. And to kick things off, you guys know him from Full House and Fuller House, a really good friend, one of the guys that helped me get started in the stand-up comedy business, Dave Coulier. He did a set for the TV show, and you're going to get to hear it right now. Now, before we jump in, let me reiterate, Willie Tyler Lester was the host of the TV show, but you hear both me and him on stage. Only Willie appeared on the TV show as the host. And then we'll play through the acts, and I'll give a little intro to each. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1985 Live at Laughs Unlimited TV show, seen on the Fox network, it's Willie Tyler and Lester.
I want to see something move. So we gave him some Jell-O. He's very happy. Now, you've had other jobs. I want to talk to you about jobs, right? Right. You got a very interesting job, right? Yeah, I'm a bodyguard, man. A bodyguard? Yeah, reading the lips, man. Bodyguard. Don't you understand what you're saying? You're a bodyguard, right? I was a good bodyguard. I guarded this dude for 5 years, man. Good bodyguard. And what happened? He got killed. And you call yourself a good bodyguard? Hey, they didn't get me. Now, another thing, willpower and determination. You're into that, right? Right. Now, I always say this a lot, see? When you got the willpower, you got the determination, you can do it. Now, first of all, I will give you this. I want you to hum what I just did, huh? Hum what I just did. Take me up, man. Oh. You better wake up, man. How's that? That's good. Now, what are we going to do now? No, wait, hold it. That's the easy part. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, what are we going to do now? We're going to give you what we just did simultaneously. This I got to see. Okay, now when I point to you, I want you to do the exact same thing that you just did. Are you ready? Yeah, you ready? Yeah, here we go. Now watch me. Okay. I'll nod. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we'd like to get our show moving down the road of success this evening, right? Right, okay. Now, we're going to introduce a gentleman who does, I guess he does voices, and he does, like basically sound effects. He's got his own cable show, right? Right, okay. Now, do you ever do any sound effects and things like that? I got a good one, man. Chirp, chirp, yuck, yuck. Chirp, chirp, yuck, yuck. What's that? It's the early bird catching the worm. What's the yuck for? You ever eat a worm, lady? Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Dave Coulier. Come on, lay it on him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice to be a part of this show. They told me it was going to be a color show, so I dressed appropriately. See, that's for the people now who just saw Willie Tyler and Lester go up. Now, if they went out to get a pop or a sandwich or something, they're going to come back into the room now and look at the set and go, honey, the color just blew out on the set. So I'm trying to get back into shape. Everybody's trying to get into shape. Nobody ever lets themselves go and tries to get out of shape. Nobody ever says, I'm going to drink about 2 cases of beer at McDonald's and about 10 Big Macs and try and balloon up to about $450 this month. A friend of mine was telling me, he said, Dave, losing weight is the toughest thing to do. I would think losing height would be a little tougher, don't you? All right, jumping jacks with a safe on your head. Ready? Feel those knees buckle? Yeah, all right. Start becoming a couch potato, you sitting there laying on the couch, Honey, come in here. Dump some sour cream on me. Yeah, you forgot to wrap me in tinfoil. Yeah, could you just poke me a few times? I'm starting to heat up here, Watching TV. That's how I grew up, though. As a kid, I used to watch television. Saturday morning, I used to get up and watch cartoons. Remember that? I got hooked on cartoons when I was a little kid. I used to get up with my pajamas on. I had the kind with the feet in the bottom. How many want to admit they had those? Yeah? It's great. You walk around all morning. Pretty soon your feet are that long. Whoa, flopping out. Hey, look. Hey, yeah, I'm dusting, Mom. Shot a pledge. I'll dust the whole house. Okay. That TV set cranked up at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday because you figure, I'm up. Shouldn't everybody get up? Why not? Used to watch those cartoons. Some of my favorites I used to watch. Now, maybe there were some of your favorites. I used to watch Sherman and Peabody and their Wayback Machine. Remember this show? Had the goofy music in the beginning, kind of went... Little statues of famous people would cruise by. One would fall and break. That little man with a mustache would sweep up. Sherman would come out with those big glasses on and go, well, where to today, Mr. Peabody? I was like,
well, Sherman said the Wayback Machine for $14.92.
Now, I realize there might be some older folks sitting here going, hell, I just don't get it. I don't know. We had some great shows. Of course, the Jetsons are back for 42 new episodes coming back out. And, they're bringing back the original cast, which I thought was a lot of sincerity on their part, sure. Including all the people who did their voices. The Jetsons were great. They had all the modern-day technology. Little family spaceship that they would cruise around in. Meet George Jetson. A little... Whoa. Wouldn't that noise freak you out if you were walking out of here tonight all of a sudden? You guys, the Jetsons. I am freaking out. Yeah. Had that great dog walking around their house. Right, roars, roars, roars. Restaurant. I had a lot of heroes on those cartoons. I always like, and now Bullwinkle's Corner.
Thank you. A little poem. Spider, spider on the wall. Don't you have any brains at all? Don't you see the walls just been plastered? Don't you see that, you little spider?
You know, kind of. We edited that, right? We edited that. Yeah, I had a lot of favorites on those cartoons. I always liked Popeye. Seemed like every episode of Popeye the Sailor was exactly the same. It was where Popeye and Bluto were fighting over olive oil, and I think we could see why. What a bod, huh? Yeah. Olive oil always gets in some kind of stupid predicament in the beginning of the show. Oh, Popeye, oh dear, oh my.
Oh boy, that Dizzy Broad's gonna fly.
If you watched enough shows, you can understand why this relationship between Popeye and olive oil existed in the first place. I mean, every time he'd see her, it was like,
Well, blow me down, olive oil.
yeah, I'd laugh just like that, too. Cut it out. Come on, cut it. Of course, Popeye and Bluto would start, when they would fight, you'd see that big cloud of dust, right? And then their arms and legs would fly. Popeye, look at it. And Popeye's arm would reach out, grab a can of spinach that, of course, just happened to be there, right? Chugs this stuff down, and you'd hear the Popeye theme music. And Popeye's arms would start going nuts, and that was the best part. Because at that time, you'd get to see which picture was going to appear in Popeye's muscle. And the guy had everything in there, right? We're talking hurricanes, marching bands, battleships in this man's bicep. Now, suppose one of you guys got in a fight with this guy, and all of a sudden he went, battleship. You just kind of go, I think you already kicked my butt, all right? Of course, he chugs that stuff down, knocks Bluto for one big solid punch. Whoa. Those guys were always mumbling stuff under their breath. I listened to one show really close. I swore I heard Bluto mumble, oh, the heck with it, Olive. You got no boobs anyhow. Of course, Popeye knocks Bluto out, and at that time, Popeye wins his beautiful, vivacious-looking queen. You guessed it, olive oil. Yeah, and what a babe, huh? Check her out.
Well, don't even call if I'm out with me. Olive says Popeye the Sailor Man.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cut. Quit it.
Well, you can see why Dave Coulier went on to TV fame. He was so funny as a stand-up comic, but once he got into television, he didn't really do a lot of stand-up comedy after that. He had Full House, Fuller House, America's Funniest Videos. He was a host for a few years. A very talented guy, good friend, and I know you enjoyed that little set recorded back in 1985 for my TV show. All right, let's keep the comedy going. Coming up right now, the only disabled comedy team in the sense that O'Brian Valdez included Alex Valdez, who was a blind comedy entertainer. He went on as a solo act and did stand-up comedy all the way through into the 2000s. Anyway, really funny comedy team. Here's a set from O'Brian and Valdez.
Thank you. You know what, Les, do you like comedy teams? Hey, I'm a comedy team, man. You know what I mean? Well, this next act that's coming out now, one can see and one is, unsighted. You know what I mean? Really? Yeah, one is sighted. You know what that means? Yeah, he can see. The other one's, unsighted. I know what that means, man. In other words, he's like us. No. But anyway, to make a long story short, would you do the honors? I'd be glad to, man. Go right ahead. I know him. Go right ahead. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, O'Brian and Valdez.
Thank you. Thank you, Les. Glad to be here, gang. We are O'Brian and Valdez. Good to be in Sacramento, huh?
I'd like to introduce my partner to you. This here's my partner, Jim O'Brien. He's the sighted guy.
It's Alex Valdez. He happens to be blind.
Hey, but it's cool. I have no car payments. Thank you very much. We are very happy to be here on the show tonight. I'm feeling especially proud wearing my brand new tuxedo my partner Jim bought me. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
You're looking good, Fred Astaire.
Yeah, it took 2 paychecks, and I think it's worth it. I do. Thank you, man.
Things are going real good for us. Right now, we're on our world tour. After this, we're heading to
Elk Grove.
Elk Grove, right?
Somebody got to do it.
It's our turn.
Yeah. Going first class, no more bus.
Nah, we take Amtrak now.
Get up in the car, walk from car to car in the train.
Listening to the clickety-clack of the wheels.
Caboose, don't kill yourself. All right. That's why we don't fly, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, they're loosen up. Let's tell them a little bit about ourselves. Tell them a little background on us.
Sounds good, sounds good. Don't lie.
I ain't going to lie no more. It's TV.
All right, Jim, if you lie tonight, you're going to hear that buzzer.
You got my word.
Let's shake on it.
All right, we'll shake. You don't trust me? Big A, what's happening?
How you doing, old people?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Not bad for a blind dude, huh?
Not too bad for a white boy either, huh?
Anyway, my glory days was high school. I was the quarterback of the football team. Made love to all the cheerleaders. I had a couple cheerleaders. Touched a fat girl in biology. I wasn't into sports. About your high school?
Well, high school's a little different for me in respect I happen to go to an all-disabled high school.
What's the name?
Handicap high.
What, do you have 2 able parking spots out in front?
Yeah, but we parked in them anyway. We didn't care.
Uno.
Then we could not try to walk normal.
All right, all right.
I'll tell you the truth, though, lunchtime was the best time, man.
Spilling stuff?
No. See, me and some of my blind buddies, we get together, tie some of the CNI dogs up to the wheelchairs, have chariot races down the halls.
All right. Speaking of racing, I'm taking up jogging now. Quit smoking. I'm going to start running every day.
You're gonna run.
Every morning at the crack of noon. I'm gone. Matter of fact, you ought to start running too.
No way, Jim. I don't know about jogging with a cane, partner.
Hey, you're my partner. You don't jog with no stinking cane. Get you a damn weed eater. Gotta watch that stomach, buddy. Kind of feel like my girlfriend's butt.
Hey, it kind of does. Good idea, man.
Leave it alone.
Alex Valdez.
Jim O'Brian.
Thanks, gang.
Leave it alone.
You can see why they were so good. They were so high energy, really funny, and both those guys, Jim O'Brian and Alex Valdez, were in comedy from the 70s through the 80s and 90s and well into the 2000s, both as individuals and as a comedy team. They had a lot of road success. All right, coming up now, one of my personal favorites and a good friend of mine. He's out of South Pasadena, did some work around the country, a little bit of television, including this show for me, but he was just a very funny guy. You've heard him before on the podcast. Why? Because he's a very funny guy. So let's listen to a set from the TV show. Bob Worley. Oh, side note, before I begin, he uses a hand puppet of a duck for a big chunk of this act. So just envision this yellow puppet of a duck with an orange bill as he's doing some of the show. I know it's a visual, but it's funny anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Worley.
You know, it's really hard to make theater last night in comedy and all that kind of stuff. You know that, don't you? Yeah, but you know, it's like you like being in this business, right? Yeah, and that goes, show business is always been in the sawdust. I love that kind of stuff. Where were you born? I was born in the woods and worked my way out. Would you do me a favor since you're very versatile and talented? Yeah. Would you introduce this next gentleman? Be glad to, man. Go right ahead. Look right over there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Worley.
There we go. Well, guys, here we are, Laughs Unlimited. What do you think? Yeah. Now, isn't this better than going out to like a singles bar, don't you think? One guy, everybody's going, I don't think so, Bob. No action here, pal. No way. Boy, at some of those places, I feel sorry for the ladies, man. They're like meat markets. Jeez. No, I swear, as soon as they go through the little big meat hook in the back, they sling them down to the bar. USDA stamped right there. You know, all the guys are, you want to dance? You want to dance? Yeah. Yeah. There's where the comedy show is, not these places. Jeez. You know what's fun to do is go there like during the happy hour and watch like the young lawyer type guys trying to pick up on girls. Yeah, the guys have been there all afternoon just hanging out going, yeah, there's a nice looking young lady. You know, I wouldn't mind starting up a stimulating conversation with her. Well, I better have a few drinks first just to get my nerve up. You see him a few drinks later, it's, hey, baby! Hey, I'm a love god! Anyways, that's how I met my wife, and I just thought I'd just... Oh, here, let me show you this, guys. Hey, nice, huh? Hey, watch, guys. I can do ventriloquism. Watch this. Okay, Mr. X, say hi to the people. Hey, how you folks doing? It's great to be here. It's kind of, isn't that amazing? I don't know how he does it. Doesn't even move or anything, you know. You know what you guys ought to do? You ought to get one of these and carry it around in your car. No, just put it in the glove compartment up on the gun rack or something, because these are great. Like, I'm serious. Like, say you're driving around town, you're right, and some jerk cuts off in traffic, you want to honk or scream at him? Don't, just do what I do. Just pull it next to him, roll down your window, and do one of these. Hey, stupid jerk, you know, good scum. Yeah, I'm talking about fight about, pull over, whatever. Sit down, sit down, I'll talk to you later. I'm sorry, roll it up and drive away, man. It's great. Oh, jeez. And if the guy comes up to your window, he wants to beat you up or something, just go, I didn't say anything, you did. Go ahead, beat him up, I don't care. Some big burly guy, why I ought to tear you apart. Or if, let's say, like, later on you leave here, you had a few beers, right? You're driving okay, but you get pulled over. Everybody knows how you feel when you get pulled over. It's like, you know, I can do it, you know? Don't panic, just do what I do. Just pull over, get in the passenger seat, put him in the driver's seat, you know? How you doing, officer? Oh, no, sir, I'm not driving. I'm too drunk, so my friend here's taking me home. All right, buddy, out of the car. Look, you can't even stand up, you know. Cut your wings to your bill, you know. They're taking him downtown. You have the right to remain silent and anything say could be held against you. You know, get in that patrol car. Watch your head, you know. You guys have been very good. Thank you very much. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, Bob Worley.
Well, he's a strange guy, very, very funny, and you've heard him a lot on the podcast because of that. My good friend Bob Worley, I know you enjoyed that. Hey, let's finish things up with the almost president of the United States, a regular on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. He had several decades of success. Sadly, he's passed on, but he'll always be remembered as the perennial runner of the President of the United States, stand-up comic Pat Paulsen.
Ladies and gentlemen, kicking off his 1988 campaign, the almost President of the United States, the Honorable Pat Paulsen.
The time has come for us to sit down and reason together. Too often, serious world problems are discussed in an environment full of passion and unreasoning anger. But the day when a fiery orator could influence an audience with vehement tirades is long since past in this age of sophisticated political awareness. Let us then communicate with each other on a civilized level. Even President Reagan disdains the impassioned appeal to the emotional sensibilities of his cattle. Yeah, people. What's that mean? Not for me, the rabble-rouser scorching indictment. It is true that some leaders have made progress with recalcitrant people through the use of demagogic emotion displays. That is to be expected when dealing with the great bulk of the lower and middle class peasants who are easily swayed by pyrotechnic performances. If I were your president, I would lead this nation forward to a position of preeminence throughout the world. I believe it's our manifest destiny to dominate the oceans of the world and to bring the white man's burden to the underprivileged nations of the earth, for they are better accustomed to carrying such loads than we are. And further, I say the dominance of this country in world trade and military power shall be enhanced and enlarged to the point where entire nations will bow down and grovel in the dust at our feet. Unser Damen, was geheudelt, liebe der Trottenkacken, die Folge heilte was. Wait a minute, hold it here, I got the wrong speed. Wait, here's the right one. I'm very excited to be in Sacramento. Gateway to enchanting Lodi. Now, I know you're all saying, where has Pat Paulsen been? The rest of you are saying, who the hell is Pat Paulsen? 1972, I lost the presidential election to Richard Nixon. That's when you people thought that he would make a better president than me. CETA program here. Hey, you guys can leave. They look pretty good. Just go check the car. I saw somebody threw on the car. Assholes. Now, I have prepared a short speech for you here in the Sacramento area entitled How to Survive the Next 4 Years. A 2-year plan. Now, where did our problems start? They started in the 70s with Nixon. I called the former president when he was in the White House. Well, I didn't call him, actually. What I did, I rented a room at the Watergate and spoke into the urinal. I will be running myself again. People have asked me, you going to run? They keep bothering me. I'm going to do it. I'm going into Iowa, test the waters, do the Iowa caucus. I probably caucus all over Iowa. I don't know about probably a couple of times in Des Moines at the Chaldean, I suspect. I don't caucus in California because it's not a good idea to caucus where you live. You know, I used to caucus 3 or 4 times a day, but I've gotten older now. About once a month, all I can do. I would imagine that the Reverend Jackson has a larger caucus than me, probably. I don't know. Stereotype. Somebody asked me what I'm going to run as. Well, last time I ran as a Republican. This time I'll run as a Democrat. Now, what's the difference between these two organizations? Well, I'll tell you what I think it is. A Democrat will meet a lady, he'll take her to dinner, take her to a movie, and he'll take her to bed. A Republican meets a lady, he takes her to dinner, takes her to a movie, and his chauffeur takes her to bed. Now, the average Democrat belongs to the Lions Club, and the average Republican belongs to the Country Club. There's a connection between these organizations. The drainage system from the Country Club is the water supply for the Lions Club. Now, you can give a cow to a Democrat, he'll milk that cow, keep some for himself, give the rest to poor people. You give that same cow to a Republican, he'll hire a Democrat to milk it at less than living wage, then he'll suggest there's a milk shortage and sell it at inflated prices. This enables him to buy a bull. With this bull, he makes a lot more cows, which he hires a lot more Democrats to milk at less than living wage. So you can see that the Republican does to the Democrat what the bull did to the cow. So I'd like to close this my segment of this show with this thought. I know in my heart, ladies and gentlemen, that for centuries to come, years will pass. No. Wait. I feel privileged to live in a land where even our national product is gross. No. Wait a minute. I'd like to close with the thoughts of former Attorney General John Mitchell, who said, when things get tough, the tough get things. Well, I'll close with my philosophy of life, and it goes like this. Well, the wind blew and the shit flew, and you're only here for a day or two.
Big round of applause, Pat Paulsen for 1988. Why not Paulsen?
Well, Pat was always a really funny guy, and the reason I initially booked him, he was a favorite of my father, Sprague Edwards. I had a chance to bring him into the club so my dad could meet him and see him live on stage. It was a real thrill for him, and Pat and I became really good friends. In fact, I spent some time down at his winery and ranch in the Napa area. Pat Paulsen, just a terrific man in comedy. He's missed. All right, well, that was our show. Willie Tyler and Lester, Dave Coulier, O'Brian Valdez, Bob Worley, and Pat Paulsen. A stand-up comedy-filled show I know you enjoyed. Be sure to rate it, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next week for our next show. This time, an interview. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.